When I was young, I memorized dinosaur names so thoroughly that I knew them by heart. Now all I can remember is Tyrannosaurus. But was this Tyrannosaurus really the strongest dinosaur? If you watch this video, you'll learn which dinosaur was even scarier than Tyrannosaurus. And honestly, who can resist clicking on the ultimate strongest dinosaur when it's on the main screen? Even at this very moment, lying down and watching YouTube, the strongest dinosaurs are still being discovered. Do you know a dinosaur that has a record of knocking down a Tyrannosaurus in Jurassic Park? Among people, their fight is as hot a topic as a lion versus tiger battle. Spinosaurus, like Tyrannosaurus, was a gigantic theropod that reigned as a top predator of its time. Because it was a predator versus predator scenario, it became very popular. Spinosaurus is an animal that is as enormous in size as Tyrannosaurus. Before 2014, research suggested it was 16 to 18 meters long and weighed about 20 tons, leading to speculation that it might have been the largest terrestrial carnivorous animal in Earth's history. However, after a 2022 re-estimation, it settled at about 14 meters and around 7.4 tons. So it ended up handing over the title of largest carnivorous dinosaur to Tyrannosaurus, but Spinosaurus still remains the longest theropod. It has a slender, elongated snout filled with closely spaced teeth. These teeth are shaped like cones, similar to modern crocodiles. They are not teeth meant for directly tearing off flesh, but like a crocodile's, they would grip their prey and thrash it to tear pieces off. Spinosaurus was a piscivorous dinosaur that primarily ate fish, so it was more specialized for aquatic combat than terrestrial battles. With these teeth, it would snatch and eat fish or small animals. But Spinosaurus had another true weapon: its powerful forelimbs. Its front legs were incomparably longer and sturdier than Tyrannosaurus's, and it had massive claws about 30 centimeters long. The Discovery Channel conducted a reconstruction experiment of these forelimbs and found they could easily punch through a car door. It's presumed to have the strongest forelimbs among all discovered theropods. If a 500 kilograms grizzly bear's forelimb strength is known to be about 1 ton, then Spinosaurus could produce an astonishing force close to 8 tons. In fact, Tyrannosaurus and Spinosaurus lived in completely different times and regions, so they would never have encountered each other, but if they were to be resurrected in today's world, it would truly be overwhelming. Imagine seeing a scene of them brutally fighting in front of your eyes, making these kinds of sounds.
No matter how scary it is, people would still somehow eat it, and it would go extinct again.
There's another dinosaur often emphasized as a rival to Tyrannosaurus, just like Spinosaurus. That is Giganotosaurus. The name Giganotosaurus means giant southern lizard. True to its name, if you were to pick the largest carnivorous dinosaurs in history, it would be one of the few on that short list. It's a large carnivorous dinosaur of enormous size. Its teeth, about 20 centimeters long and laterally flattened, had serrations along the edges, making them shaped like thick blades suited for slicing flesh. Its tooth structure and bite force weren't enough to crush bone, but Giganotosaurus had its own intimidating features. Specifically, a sharply angled lower jaw. Because it bit prey with its front teeth only, the force applied at the tip of the snout would have been considerable, so it's presumed that's why the end of the lower jaw evolved into such an angled shape. It seems less force was applied to the inner teeth, but the front teeth had quite a strong bite, so when biting prey, it would use only the front part of its snout, while the back teeth were used to slice meat. Its biting range was relatively small compared to its jaw size, which means it likely tore off chunks of flesh.
A small bite, yet humans could be eaten in one gulp, right?
That seems plausible. And if Tyrannosaurus had powerful jaw strength, then Giganotosaurus, with its elongated jaw muscles, is thought to have been able to open and close its mouth quickly. It was a dinosaur that competed with speed rather than strength. It's that very dinosaur you saw on TV as a child that shocked you. Why is Tyrannosaurus, an herbivore, considered scary? Do you think hippos or elephants aren't scary just because they're herbivores? Look at how they can toss a deer around as if shaking off dust.
I mean, the deer can fly around, and its claws are super long and so scary.
What makes this even scarier is that they're not hunting to get prey, but like hippos, which kill more people than lions, they're acting to protect their territory. Moreover, among the therizzinosaurid dinosaurs that flourished in the Cretaceous, Tyrannosaurus was the largest. Because of its massive body and what appeared to be long, gigantic claws, it was once mistakenly assumed to be a carnivorous dinosaur that hunted prey using these claws as weapons. But later, anatomical studies surprisingly revealed that it was actually herbivorous. Unusually for a theropod, its skull structure and teeth were specialized for eating plants. Those enormous foreclaws are believed to have been useful for hooking and pulling vegetation. When Tyrannosaurus stretched its long neck, it could reach heights of over 5 meters, and it's hypothesized that it pulled down stems with its claws to bring them within reach of its beak. A fully grown Tyrannosaurus was so large that it had few natural threats. Its partially upright posture gave it great height, helping prevent predators from biting its neck, and it likely defended itself with its intimidating claws. These claws might not have been razor sharp, but combined with powerful forelimbs, they could have been used as blunt force weapons. Swinging those massive claws with that enormous body, that's already a formidable weapon. For those who think Tyrannosaurus has a nasty temper, please smash that subscribe button, oink. If Triceratops were to be resurrected today and you met it on the road while driving, what do you think would happen?
I'd just ditch the car and run away immediately.
Triceratops, starting with its unique appearance distinguishing it from other dinosaurs, was so formidable that it became Tyrannosaurus's very first rival. The name Triceratops means three-horned face, and as the name suggests, the frill encircling its face and the three horns are its signature features. Triceratops, the largest ceratopsian, measured about 8 to 9 meters in length and weighed around 6 to 10 tons, and was abundant and thrived during the Cretaceous period. If you happen to pick up a random fossil in certain strata, chances are 9 out of 10 it would belong to a Triceratops. Of the three horns, the one on the nose is somewhat small, but the two above the eyes are quite long. And while there have been many guesses about their purpose, the leading theory now is that they use their horns to defend against predators. So what if a horned elephant fought Tyrannosaurus? Check this out. When you compare them, the size difference doesn't seem that large, and the elephant's tusks seem quite long and threatening, but ultimately, it can't make an effective attack one tusk breaks off, and it ends up as the Tyrannosaurus's meal. But Triceratops is different. Its horns, angled diagonally upward, would have been highly effective as weapons, and because they could be nearly a meter long and sharp, even huge animals wouldn't avoid a fatal injury if they were gored. Tyrannosaurus and Triceratops were roughly similar in size. Tyrannosaurus had a formidable bite force approaching 6.1 tons, enough to smash not only Triceratops's horns and frill, but even its bones. But in terms of overall body mass, Triceratops had a slight advantage, and by utilizing its lower stance, it could easily target the Tyrannosaurus's chest and abdomen with its horns. If its horn pierced a vital area, like the chest or belly, it would cause organ rupture or massive bleeding, leading to death. Additionally, because of its body structure, Triceratops had a very heavy head, supported by a strong neck connecting to the upper body, allowing it to withstand impact well, and it possessed 4 large, thick, and powerful legs. So even to the king of the dinosaurs, the Tyrannosaurus, it was never an easy prey.
No matter how strong it is, I bet mankind would end up controlling it anyway.
Come to think of it, the more threatening an animal is to humans, we either try to tame it, or if that doesn't work, we end up driving it to extinction. Have you ever heard of a small dinosaur that was smart, ferocious, and even dared to take on Tyrannosaurus? It's the velociraptor we just mentioned. Velociraptor means swift hunter, speedy thief. It had a long S-shaped neck and about 26 to 28 strong serrated teeth lined up in its mouth. With a body length of about 1.5 to 2 meters, a weight of around 15 kilograms, and a height of about 50 centimeters, it wasn't much different in size from a modern coyote. This dinosaur became famous when a 1971 fossil was discovered, showing it dying while fighting a protoceratops. Velociraptor's sickle-shaped hind claws were found deeply embedded in Protoceratops's neck, leading scholars at one time to guess that it attacked by slashing enemies' skin with its long claws. However, subsequent simulations showed that the hind claws couldn't even tear pig hide, leading to the speculation that the claws were used differently, not for cutting flesh. Thanks to short and thick metatarsals, it likely had a strong grasping ability in its feet. So like birds of prey or felines, it may have used these claws to latch onto a specific part of its prey and hold it firmly rather than slashing. Since its foot structure differed to utilize the stiff tail and claws, it might not have been as fast as a modern ostrich, but it likely moved quite agilely. In movies and popular media, they use this speed and intelligence, depicting them hunting in packs. However, since no fossils of them in groups have been found, some scholars believe they lived solitary lives. As early reconstructions differ drastically from those after the 21st century, it's assumed that there are many differences from the velociraptors portrayed in Jurassic Park. But if a velociraptor appeared in the forest, making these sounds, wouldn't that be incredibly chilling?
If something like this were to appear, I hope it looks like elegant raptors from Jurassic Park.
For those curious about what Velociraptor really looked like, please press the like button. Oink. Do you know of a dinosaur that was restored with a similar appearance to Tyrannosaurus? It's Allosaurus, which showed an overwhelming presence in movies. It averaged about 8.5 meters in length and weighed around 1.7 tons, giving it a slimmer build than the massive Tyrannosaurus. It had 3 fingers on its front limbs, possessing the sturdiest and largest forearms among the allosauroids. Additionally, a pair of bony crests in front of its eyes is another distinguishing feature.
T-Rex must have been jealous of Allosaurus's arms.
Tyrannosaurus's forelimbs are rather cute by comparison. The scary thing about these creatures is their tenacious survivability. They existed for about 10 million years and had a very wide habitat range, resulting in many fossil finds, and occasionally individuals with deep wounds are found. There are various cases, including one individual that survived for quite some time despite having a broken lower jaw. From this, scholars deduce that Allosaurus must have had remarkable survival capabilities. Allosaurus played a top predator role similar to that of a lion today. With relatively long and large forelimbs, it could grab fleeing prey, and its running speed is estimated at a fairly fast 30 to 50 km/h, allowing it to chase down its prey swiftly. Its main prey ranged from smaller herbivorous dinosaurs up to those slightly larger than itself, and there's even evidence it attacked adult Stegosaurus, despite the considerable size difference. Although it sometimes failed, the mere evidence of attempts proves it could attack prey larger than itself. The habitat of Allosaurus was a paradise for gigantic sauropods, all of which were so enormous that even Allosaurus couldn't take them on. Instead, since a large number of sauropod hatchlings would have been born, it's presumed that many of those young fell victim to Allosaurus. Furthermore, Allosaurus would have eagerly eaten carcasses whenever the opportunity arose. Fossils of adult giant sauropods also show Allosaurus bite marks, all considered evidence not of active hunting, but of scavenging. In 2004, evidence of another individual's teeth was found in Allosaurus's ribs. It might have simply been feeding on a carcass, but if food was scarce, there's also a strong possibility of cannibalism. They seem to have an immense drive for survival,